Um, what's today? Thursday. Oh, I had a doctor's appointment today, and I worked from home. Spent some time outside. I don't know, just taking care of stuff, I guess. What else is new? I'll probably go home and cook some dinner or something.
Word.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do need to go to the dispensary, so I'm probably gonna do that and then cook dinner.
Oh. What are you gonna buy?
Drugs, obviously. I don't know. Probably like edibles or a vape or something.
Why don't you just buy flour?
What?
Why don't you just buy flour?
I always do, but I feel like that's like a given. But I always get confused between sativa and indica, and I always get the wrong one. So I always get both now.
I was just reading. People really prefer indica.
Indica is the one that makes you sleep, right?
I don't fucking know. I just know that it's like lighter. It seems like there's less metal in it.
I think indica is the one that makes you like tired, sleepy, but happy, and then sativa uh, just makes you just stoned and awake, and you know what I mean. It
That's what,
doesn't like calm.
that's what
It
they
doesn't
say, but
calm you.
it's like wine, Like if if you like Pinot Noirs, I mean, some Pinot Noirs are better than others, but I'm just saying that like when I buy sativa, I'm always kind of disappointed. Whenever I buy indica, I'm always like, yeah, this is a fucking great fucking weed. I never feel that way with sativa.
Hmm. I don't know. I do not know. I don't really mess with hybrids though. I feel like I don't know. My friend gave me like an edible 2 weeks ago, and I don't know what kind of edible it was, but I was just laying there, and I'm like, oh my god, I am so cringe. And I just kept like talking myself into how cringe I was, and like I was like going through my text messages. I was like, oh my god, why would you say that? And it's like I don't know. I felt like a different person all together. I was like, God, extroverted Maya sucks for sure. Oh, the sunset's so pretty. Sorry, I'm just rambling.
It was really nice driving out into the suburbs today, and, like seeing the beginning of the changing of the trees and all the corn, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, God, people who live in the city, my god, like the suburbs are fucking awesome. It's just so
I know.
peaceful.
I love driving through nothing but cornfields, and like right now, like I look to my left and it's nothing but fields and beautiful trees and a sunset. I mean, it's still like hillbilly nation, but it's still beautiful as hell. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go so you can do your yoga.
I mean, I'm just chilling here watching the sunset, doing yoga. Um, when are you gonna be in Chicago? Saturday?
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday. All right.
I'm
Well, what are you doing?
going to a concert.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, at Seven Sins. It's his first tour, so I got like VIP tickets.
Oh, where's it at? What venue?
Where is it? It looks and sounds like Stellinium. Does that ring any bells?
Like
Yeah,
what?
that's what it sounds like. Let me look. Where? Um, man, I'm driving and trying to do this. I'll look in a second.
I can Don't worry about it. I mean, just whatever. I mean, if we make plans or something, I mean, we'll figure it out.
You know, my girlfriends are going. Well, one for sure. The other two, I'm not really sure.
What
Can
are
I stay on the phone with me? Because my friend talks my ear off. Or I'll just call you. I'll just call you back.
they? Okay, sounds good.
Hey, fucking nerd.
legislation, and the Heritage Foundation and the Federalist Society are doing that right now. But like the FTC, for example, or the Securities and Exchange Commission, they're designed to operate with a level of independence from the president. But if the unitary executive theory were fully adopted, the president could actually more directly dictate policy and decisions at those agencies, and it would also weaken congressional oversight to check the executive branch in overseeing some of these agencies. Now, it would be easier to fire people, but you would be taking away some of Congress's ability to check what the president is doing with the executive branch agencies. Do you want unitary executive theory where Angela was saying, fire them. If they're not firing enough people, then they need to be fired. And that certainly resonates with me. But do we want the president to have more unitary control over like the FTC and the SEC and others, noting that, of course, when Democrats are in power, they will take that power and do the opposite in 2 times away. I'd be curious to hear people's thoughts about unitary executive theory.
I think that they can essentially already do that if the quote-unquote deep state is aligned with the DNC candidate and, the corporations control the regulatory agencies. Do they even need the executive to, govern the country unaccountably?
Right, so they can Congress can hold hearings and commissions, and they can prevent the president from taking action. And as we've seen, they can actually stymie him because of their protections from being fired. So it's the question of, do you want the president to have more legal authority to fire federal agents? He was even complaining about how he couldn't fire people in the FBI who were directly working against him, but he didn't have the authority to do so. So it's like, should he be able to fire anyone and everyone who works at the FBI from the very top to the very bottom? I think the answer is yes, but
yes.
It's a Pandora's box. It's once you open that, it's Pandora's box.
Fire, yes. Hire, maybe not. I think, yeah. I like the idea of him being able to fire a bunch of people. Maybe not like hire out the entire FBI. Maybe he needs a little bit of help. I don't know. I just want as much of it gone as possible. That's the lens that I'm looking at it through. How do we dismantle it without letting someone just rebuild it back up immediately?
It's a tricky bit of business, right? Because you would we, if Kamala Harris was in, would we want her to have a stronger executive branch? Do you want to, talk about the unitary executive theory for Kamala Harris? What kind of trouble could that lead us to? So, yeah, again, if we're in power, sure, let's because I know we're likely going to do more good than harm. But put an authoritarian in there, and then it could become dangerous. I've had this discussion with John Yoo, who was a proponent of it during the Bush years. And we eventually end up agreeing to disagree, but anyway, that's that.
Hey, I am dropping off, guys. I really appreciate you hosting me, Phenom, and I just want to remind everybody: Rescue the Republic, 929, Rage Against the War Machine, 928.
I also have to follow Angela out the door and get a baby to sleep tonight. So thank you all for having me here tonight. I hope that I could provide some substance and meaningful substance. I followed Utsav, and I already followed all of the other speakers this morning, but I'm looking forward to hearing more from Utsav. And Bryce, congratulations on all your success with the Maha movement. It's great to see. John, it's a pleasure. Phenomenology. I'm grateful for the opportunity. I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, Austin. Make sure you're following Austin before he jumps off.
And while we're doing plugs, I'd like to ask everybody to consider joining the Republican Liberty Caucus. We do great work. We protect a really important brand within the Republican Party, and we're going to be an important player in the Trump administration. It's been my contention. I think most people on this space would agree that to the extent that the first Trump term didn't succeed was because he didn't understand, they didn't follow the liberty agenda. It's really important that we play an active part. And if the Republican Liberty Caucus is growing, that gives us more of a voice in a perspective Trump's second term. So please join the Republican Liberty Caucus and help to make this organization stronger than it already is. And you can find us at rlc.org.
We have another RLC chair up here, RLC chair from Texas, Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hey there. I'm just going to step in real quick. Is that okay? I just before I leave, because I have to go too, and I apologize. I want to make something clear. Throughout tonight, and when we've had conversations when it veered towards Kennedy or something, there's this notion that Kennedy is left, or that his supporters are left, and that couldn't be further from the truth. His supporters, majority of us were libertarian conservative individuals. My heroes are Warren G. Harding and Calvin Coolidge. The people I know within the Kennedy campaign are all, a lot of them are libertarians, a lot of them are former Republicans. We had a lot of DeSantis people on board. The majority, and Kennedy himself says that, at least over 60%, leans conservative. That's why Trump wanted us, right? He knew that we were taking from him more than we were taking from Kamala. So the minority is the liberal side. And a good number of them are holding their nose and voting for Donald Trump. That's the best that you could ask for them. They're not going to rave, hurrah flags, and they're not going to do all that, but at least they're going to vote for him and just say, fine, if I have to do that, then in 2028, that's when we'll go do our thing. But I just would like that, when you guys speak of Kennedy supporters, do us the courtesy by recognizing that it's offensive to call us the left. I'm offended by it.
Words matter. Savi wanted to jump in there.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I love this whole dialogue, which is amazing. And, one thing that folks need to be aware of is the anti-war vote is a real vote. It needs to be captured. And President Trump, I think, has done the best thing by incorporating Tulsi Gabbard, who is my hero, into the transition team. And, incorporating RFK Jr., who's an incredible man. His father, John F. Kennedy, opened the door between India and America. He paved the way for Indian Americans to really actually get a fair shot in America. And seeing RFK Jr. endorse Trump, another president who's also pro-India and has been very good to the Hindu American community, it gives a lot of confidence. And I think that Trump has made all the right strategic and tactical moves. And, when you speak to voters that are, have immigrated from the global South, they actually can understand the full might and weight of, U.S. foreign policy and how it affects their populations and their home nations. And they do really gravitate to this libertarian anti-war messaging. And I think if President Trump and folks like John continue with their wonderful outreach efforts, we can actually up this Asian American vote. I'm very, very optimistic. I've been doing this on the ground in Georgia, Atlanta suburbs, been doing it in Raleigh, North Carolina, been having a lot of success, believe it or not, in Philadelphia and Allegheny, Pittsburgh. And when I tell them President Trump has not started any new wars and that he wants a deal in Ukraine, voters really gravitate to that. Not all the charades, semantics, and all of this nonsensical theatrics. They really do look at the record and they care about that record.
I love this topic. That's a reason, I'm going to give it over to John, but that's a reason to support the Republican Liberty Caucus, because they are, the more common sense voice for Republicans. So I'll let you go to that, John.
Well, actually, what I wanted to ask is, we'll get some new speakers. So if you're interested in speaking on this topic, go ahead and raise your hand. But the Republican Liberty Caucus, as I mentioned at the outset of the space tonight, has never endorsed a candidate in the general election. We've only endorsed in primaries, and we wouldn't endorse a non-Republican, and we just were under-enthused about the general election candidates for the Republican Party in years past, going back to probably George H.W. Bush. So we've never endorsed in the general election, and we endorsed this week Donald Trump for president. I'd like to get some feedback from folks. I mean, I've heard different things. We had a robust discussion about it at the state charter level, and then at the national board. What are your thoughts on that? I'd like to hear from people who disagree, who think that we shouldn't have endorsed Donald Trump. And if you do, then go ahead and raise your hand.
Who wants to go first? Anyone? And if you're not up on the stage and you have a point of view that you want to share, please just request a mic at the bottom left of your phone and we'll bring you up.
Yeah, I just want to say, while we're waiting folks to raise their hands, I mean, we take our role very seriously. We know that we're an important position, and really, we feel like we are what the party was founded on. We think we're, the sort of somebody mentioned Warren Harding, the sort of Harding, Robert Taft, to a lesser extent Barry Goldwater, certainly the Ron Paul wing of the Republican Party, which we think is the essence of the party, and to the extent from the mission of the Republican Liberty Caucus and the Liberty Agenda, it doesn't succeed. So endorsing Donald Trump is a big deal. Did we get it right? That's the question.
We had Della jump up. Do you have a point of view you'd like to share?
Yeah, I have some things to share about it. Let me tell you, we are talking about Republican Libertarian. Now, we depend on how.
I think we have a connection issue, so we'll try again with Della. Let's see, we'll bring up Virginia. Hi, Virginia. Go ahead and just unmute your mic, Virginia, and go ahead and ask your question or share your comment.
Hi, I have been torn between all of the parties, and I hear a lot of people saying, should we vote for Trump? But from what I've seen, the Democratic Party has been in power for 8 years with Obama, and now with Biden, who was his vice president for so long. I wish there was a way that there was some sort of way that all the different types of the Republican parties could come together and just find a new way, because there is a platform. Most of us don't really want to pledge allegiance to one party or the other because some of the platforms are very confusing. I thought it was great that Robert F. Kennedy, he comes from a great family of good people and good politicians. If we could find a way to combine that force, we could actually get somewhere. Trump is the most powerful person. He's not an attorney. I hope our country would realize that if one thing could be changed, it's because he was not an attorney. And he didn't think like these attorneys and the lawmakers. I believe that they are using our own Constitution against us. And that's what people should I wish they would look at. And I would like to know people's opinion on it. Now, would it matter if, like Donald, he was not an attorney. He doesn't play by the political rules that attorneys are playing by. I think that's what made the difference when he was president. And I think that's what would make the difference as far as foreign policy. He's a powerful person. And he presents that with the world. He goes up against the bullies like Putin and all these people and says, look, don't mess with America. I don't see that coming from the Democrats or even Kamala at this point. And Joe, God knows where Mr. Biden's at. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for your.
Let's go to Whole Grain Waffle. What are your thoughts?
Hey, so yeah, what I was going to kind of touch on is that I feel like there's multiple parties within each party. So whether that's the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, or even the Libertarian Party as well, there's kind of a split there. And I think that there's always multiple factions within the party that are always kind of forming and jockeying based on different interests or industry behind those. But I will say what we're seeing right now, in my opinion, is just a broader populist movement that has come out of both Occupy Wall Street and the Tea Party movement. And I think there's a lot of overlap with those two movements that we've really seen. And I think that really kind of focusing on the 80% of where there is the overlap of like just being more liberty minded, freedom minded, bringing power back to the people and away from like, just lobbyists and all the things that.
So do you think that? So do you think that How do you feel about the endorsement? And are you for it?
Okay, this is Peace, Mind, Health, Wealth, Love, Joy meditation.